This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Okay, Rabbi, so let me share with you another thought. Very interesting. There's a sefer, Marpei Lashain. The Marpei Lashain is from Rabbi Raphael Hamburger, the Avezin of Kehilais Ehu, Altona, Hamburg, Vansbeck. Rabbi Raphael Hamburger. And he's bothered by a very interesting question in his sefer Marpei Lashain. And the question is, the Aseres Yimei Tshuva are called Yimei Tshuva. So you say, okay, that doesn't sound too exciting. I mean, what else are you going to call it? No, he feels that the fact that we refer to it as Yimei Tshuva is very significant. We would sort of say, okay, that's the obvious name. You can't get, that's, Captain Obvious. Huh? What else are you going to call it? But he feels that that's very, very important. That sort of is an opening and understanding what these days are all about. Rav Yonasan Eibeshitz writes in the Aris Tavash in Jerush Aleph that the Aseres Yimei Tshuva, a person should view almost as Chol HaMoed, to be Mamayit be'esak va'asoik b'tshuva. In other words, to take advantage as much as possible of one's time. Certainly, Bizman Hazeh, maybe it's Lamala mimadreg yosenu to be staying home all day, but as much as possible to take advantage of the days, the hours, and the moments of Aseres Yimei Tshuva. In fact, the Chafetz Chaim brings in the Mishnah Berurah, he quotes from Rabbi Yonasan Eibeshitz, and Rabbi Yonasan Eibeshitz quotes the Arizal. And it's a little different than people say it over, at least the way Rabbi Yonasan interprets it. And that is, we're all familiar, there's 7 days between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, and on each day you could correct the corresponding day of the week. So it's usually said over, for example, today on Sunday, you could correct all the Sundays of the past year. And tomorrow, Monday, you could correct all the Mondays of the past year. The way Rabbi Yonasan Eibeshitz interprets it is it's not the past year, it's of your entire life. Tomorrow, on Monday, Aseres Yimei Tshuva, a person has the ability to correct every single Monday of their life. And Tuesday, you could correct every Tuesday of your life. That's the way Rabbi Yonasan says it in the Jerush Aleph. And Rabbi Raphael Hamburg has a very novel interpretation of this. And it's based on a teaching of the Zayar. The Zayar is quoted by the Orach Chaim HaKadosh in Parshas Vayechi. And that is the following concept. That aside from the fact that when a person does a mitzvah, they're rewarded, and if a person does an avera, they're held accountable, there's a concept that a day is a living entity. Every day of our life is considered like a living piece of our life. And if we use it properly, the day will, so to speak, come before God and defend us, speak on our behalf. It's as if the day has its own personality in life. And unfortunately, if a person does not use their time wisely, not only are they accountable for the act, but now the day, so to speak, is bereft. The day is empty, and you've created a barren day. You've created a day that needs rectification. The entity of the day, the living personality of the day, is something which is a problem. That's the pshat. The Orach Chaim HaKadosh says, "Vayikrevu Yemei Yisrael Lamos." The days of Yaakov were approaching to die, meaning the day, every day, a day is like an entity, it's a living being. His final days were coming toward him. Imagine, a day is like it has a head and it has legs and it has an arm, and it's saying, please give me life, feed me, sustain me, nourish me, don't maim me, don't cut off my arms, don't mutilate me, don't destroy me, feed me well. So the days of Yaakov were approaching to die, meaning a day is a living entity. Well, based on this concept, maybe I'll read to you what he says. He says, Yimei HaTshuva u'kedushasam heim asar yom Rosh Hashanah yom HaKippurim. The days of Tshuva and their sanctity are 10 days from Rosh Hashanah to Yom Kippur. Asher kidsham Hashem baruch hu, Hashem sanctified them, v'nikroim aseres yimei Tshuva. V'haremez hu, the allusion is as follows. Kitam HaTshuva, what is Tshuva? What is Tshuva? What is Tshuva? So, Rabbi Raphael Hamburg quotes the Chovos HaVavos, that the Chovos HaVavos defines Tshuva, who haskanas ha'adam la'avodas havari yisbarach, acharei yitziasa mimeno. That's definition one. Definition number 1 of tshuva, according to the Chavos HaVavos, is preparing yourself to serve Hashem after being lax in it. Meaning, let's say, in the past, mincha, whatever, I'll get around to it right now. I have to catch up what happened between 1 and 4, between 4 and 7, and I'll get here basically on the right. In other words, if in the past the person had a certain lackadaisical view and attitude toward Avodas Hashem, tshuva would then be preparing oneself to serve Hashem after having left it. That's definition 1. Definition 2 says the Chavos HaVavos, v'hashavas ma she'avad mimena, restoring what was lost. Well, says the Chavos HaVavos, says Raphael Hamburger, v'nei la'el hevesu b'shem hazar. I quoted the Zohar. These are famous words of the Zohar. Inun yoimin de barnash, the days of man, kad isri buhu yoima, de nafak la'alma. When they are created, on the day that a person goes to his world, meaning goes upstairs, kulu kayamin b'kiyumayu, they all stand in their b'kiyumayu, they all stand straight, they all stand extant. Ve'ozlin, and they go. Ve'tasin, and they float, and they fly. Ba'alma. Nachtin, they go down. Ve'ezharu lebarnash, and they warn a person. Kol yoyma v'yoyma b'chaydai, each day on its own. Meaning, let not a person think, I'm a pretty good Jew. I learned Shas, and I give a lot of tzedakah, and let's say a person really amassed many achievements in their lifetime. That's wonderful, and that's beautiful. But aside from that, there is a concept that every day has to be accounted for. It's not enough to be a Jew like most days of the week or 6 out of 7 days. Every day is like a new creation. It's a new world. And la'achamei v'esrim shana, every day will come to you and say, what did you do with me? V'chadahu yoyma asi v'zarle u'barnash avid bahu yoyma choyva kamei. When the day comes and on that day a person committed an infraction, Hahu Yoima Salak B'Kisufa, the day walks away sullen, embarrassed. Ve'asid Sahadusa, and testifies. Ve'koyim V'choydei Levar, and stays by itself outside. Well, says Raphael Hamburger, V'nei Kasu Bali Musar, the Bali Musar, right? And it's not only the Bali Musar, we quoted the Ari, that on the Aser Simei Tshuva, you could correct the corresponding day from the past, whether it's that year or even from one's whole life. Sheskulas hayamim ha'elu, imshav lefanav baruch hu moichlin loi. The part of the segula of these days is that if a person does tshuva, they're moichel him. Kol ma shechata ba'oisa yom b'shvua kol yimei sashana. If a person does tshuva during these days, listen carefully, goyrim shechoizrin hayamim shechata bahen b'minyan hayamim. Then all those days come back. In other words, imagine at the end of a year, maybe we have 50 days that are like beroigas at us. Like, what did you do today? You didn't do any mitzvahs and you wasted your time and you spoke about other people. Imagine at the end of the day we have like these 50 monsters, in the guise of entities of days, and they're all upset at us. So basically, what are we doing in the Aser Simei Tshuva? We're restoring, we're nourishing those days, we're injecting Kedusha into those days, and we're transforming days that were days that we were accountable for, and we're returning them back to our team. And instead of creating days of monstrous days, we reconstitute the days, and now these days are sort of in our favor and to our defense. This is where it's all turning to. In other words, what he's bothered by is, why do we call these days days of tshuva? Again, this is not a diuk that, me or you would pick up on. Why do we call it Yemei HaTshuva? It's a Zaman Tshuva. It's between, no, they're Yemei Tshuva. They're days that the day returns. Through these days, all the days of the previous year and throughout our life are restored. And therefore a person should pay attention. And a person should look back. And everybody knows, we all know our own lacking in Avodas Hashem, and how many days then we need to correct, and therefore take advantage of the Yemei HaTshuva. They're called Yemei HaTshuva because you could literally take the previous days of the year and transform them from bringing L'choivenu to L'zuchusenu. I'll tell you an interesting chiddush, and we'll end with this. I don't know if I ever quoted in the Sichos of Rabbi Yasvei. I don't think I ever quoted that before. He has a ha'ara. Rabbeinu Yoino, one of his themes in the Shari Tshuva is that, we sit there on Yom Kippur. Let's say a person did an Avera during the course of the year. So you klap al chet, and you sincerely regret it, and you commit never to do it again, and it's wiped free. The problem is, Rabbeinu Yoino says that if you're on a proper madrega, it's not enough just to wipe away an Avera. Why? Because for a tzaddik doesn't just want not to be punished. The tzaddik wants Hashem to love him again and want him again. There's a concept that, let's say you had a good friend and you insulted him. So you ask for forgiveness. So the friend said, Moichel zayin. So now you want to go out with him again. You want to go out for pizza with him. The friend said, I'm not going out for pizza with you. So why? I thought you forgave me. So yeah, of course I forgave you. But I don't like you anymore. What do you mean you don't like me? You have tightness on me? I have no tightness on you. You're upset at me? I'm not upset at me. You harbor a grudge? No. I just don't like you anymore. I have no ill feelings. Just I don't want to go out for pizza with you. You insulted me. I forgave you. I'll invite you to my simcha, but it's just the feelings are not there anymore. Says Rabbeinu Yoina, if you go through a Yom Kippur and you say, oh boy, shoo, I'm not going to be punished this year, you're only halfway there. For a tzaddik, for a Baal Madrega, the real bakasha of Yom Kippur is Hashiva li sisoyin yeshecha. Ribbono Shel Olam, I don't want you just to forgive me. I want you to want me. I want you to desire me. I want you to want my mitzvahs. Rabbeinu Yoina says it's possible for a person to do an Aveira and Hashem to forgive them, but still Hashem doesn't really look forward to your mitzvahs the way He once did. And what we're looking for on Yom Kippur is Al tashlicheni milfanecha. Don't cast me away. I know you're not going to punish me, but I want you to desire me. So Rav Yosef has a chiddush. He wants to say like this. This concern that a person could do tshuva, and yet the Ribbono Shel Olam doesn't desire him still, that's the rest of the year. Because of the rest of the year, the Ribbono Shel Olam doesn't ask you to do tshuva. You want to do tshuva, you do it on your own. I didn't tell you to do tshuva, so you did tshuva, so machalza, machalach, machalach, machalach. You want me to like you again? I didn't ask you to do tshuva. But aseres yimei tshuva, where it's begeder, koil doidi doifek, where the Ribbono Shel Olam is coming to us. He's asking us to do tshuva. So the Ribbono Shel Olam is asking you to do tshuva. Perforce part of the request is, and if you do it, I'm not just going to forgive you, I'm going to want you again. So then it would come out, all the more achrayus we have to be chayzer b'tshuva during these days, because we're basically taking it all the way through. Not only, Rabbi Yitzchak, not only will Hashem forgive us, but He'll even desire our mitzvahs again. Rabbi Yisai, Gemar Chasim Atayv.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.